Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, March 4th. It is 6:21 right now. We got market opening up in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. That's good. Good update. And it looks like we are good to go here. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Sent out. Looks like we are good to go. So, all right, guys, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And as people join in, I'll start marking up liquidity over here. Going down to the 4 hour. 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 30 minute. 15 minute. 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute over here. All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, March 4th. It is 6:25 right now. We got market opening up in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 43,103. Closest level below is at 43.70. One of these or both of these are probably going to get hit here pre-market. So I'm just going to mark them up there. I wouldn't pay too much attention to them because it's depending on how the volatility moves this morning. ETR is currently at 17. Looks like it might get triggered before market opens up. Looks good. I don't think there's any news for today. I believe it's a G20 meeting. So today is Yeah. So today we have CIPP economic optimism, which is tentative. We have FOMC Fed member Williams speaking at 11:20, and we have Trump speaking later tonight. Other than that, there's not really much else going on. So I don't think we got too much to worry about with regard to news. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens here. So this liquidity here just got knocked out. Like I said earlier, it's probably gonna get knocked out pre-market because volatility here is pretty high pre-market. So it looks like we are good to go here. Let's see if there's anything that I'm missing. I think we're good. Yeah, so all right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Maria. Morning, Christian. Morning, Lila. Morning, everybody. Ready to take on the session. Let's see what we got. Hey, Jonathan. Morning. All right, so taking a look at this so far, let's just do a full analysis of everything real quick. So looking over here at the trend, guys, we have a bearish trend with regard to majority of the time frames. The 4 hours bearish, you can see prices below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. It's also bearish for the 1 hour, 30-minute, 10-minute, 5-minute, and lastly the 1 minute here. So looking at the trend bias is currently bearish right now. So we might be looking for some sells today. For the most part, we might see some retracement and we might see some correction back to the downside. But like I said, we'll kind of just play by ear and we'll see where this ends up going as price continues to move along here. Looking at this so far, let's go over here to pretty much liquidity got knocked out. This is literally what I said was going to happen, guys. The liquidity here is kind of close and volatility is a little high. Volatility actually picked up a lot on these previous candles. Candles are about like 40 points high. So like you want to be a little careful with these entries, of course. You want to make sure there's confluences and you have opportunities for entry, even when price to swing around. We have no rejections here off the market profile. Looking over here on the 30-minute, we have a rejection on both ends from the point of control and from the value low. So we'll kind of see what happens here when the market opens up. If you guys are looking to take the breakout for today is going to be a sell. Again, I'm still not taking breakout. I'm probably not going to take it. I'll just keep marking it up for you guys because it's, one of those foundation entries that, if you guys want to take a breakout, it still does hit pretty often. You just have to keep taking it until, the profitability rolls back in. Overall, it's been pretty profitable for the year though. Looking over here at the 30-minute market profile, like I said, it's rejecting off both ends. Looking at volume profile, it's rejecting off the top end right here on the current candle. Looking over here at our clean chart, we have price rejecting off the whole number down below. We've got market now open. So here is the breakout currently running in profit. I'll mark up the 50-50, which is about to hit. There you go. So 50-50 got hit over here for the breakout, guys, if you're going for that 1-to-1. If you're going for the 1-to-2, we'll go ahead and adjust this a little later as we get closer to middle of the market. So 1-to-1 right there hit for 50 points, guys. If you guys did take the breakout, if you did it, it's fine. We'll look for the next entries here as price continues to move along. But price is moving in the direction that we identified earlier with regard to the trend bias. So it's currently bearish right now. We'll look for a flip in price, of course, if and when that happens. I'm going to mark up opening price here as well. So this up right there. All right, so far so good. We have liquidity right here. Price is dumping further. Looks like the breakout did hit the 100 points. So if you guys went for that 100 points right there, guys, full TP on your breakout. I'll go and put that over there in the chat real quick. So you guys took that breakout, 100 points right there. So like I said, guys, with the breakout, if you can handle the drawdown, I mean, you could be pretty good just taking the breakout if you really wanted to. The problem is I don't like taking the drawdown like that. It just takes too much. The toll's like way too heavy on my trade psychology. So like for me personally, I don't like taking the breakout. It's a decent strategy. It does work. But for me personally, I just don't like using it as much. But yeah, full TP on the breakout there. If you guys are just joining in, breakout did hit for 100 points. Looking for opportunities here. So looking at market profile, there's like not really much structure right here. Down below, price hasn't really been this low in a while. So no rejections off market profile on the 1 minute. We do have a rejection over here off the value low on the 30 minute. So sells here could be valid if we do see something come up. Obviously, there's nothing here yet because the sell entries have been dropping for some time now. So the first sell entry which happened here was the NPS. You can see how we have the sell signal, price retraced up, came back down. So there was an NPS that happened here, pre-market, it looks like. Pre-market NPS. Right there. And price is still dumping as we speak. So I mean, this is probably the strongest confluence that we had here. Pretty much at the 630 candle, price closed below. Had that strong upper rejection off the value low on the 30 minute. And price just came down super, super heavy from there. Looking over here at the volume profile, we also had that rejection off the value low right there. We identified that earlier. And then also here on the 1 minute, we have quite a bit of rejections. So we're pretty much just going to wait for this here to retrace up. We need it to retrace up at least a little bit. And then maybe ride this back down. All right. That's kind of what we're looking for here. Looking for price to retrace up. Make its way back down. Or we'll look for it to reverse. Right. Yeah, this thing's dumping heavy. I'd be careful if you guys are looking to take entries here. Of course, what comes down must come up at some point. So it's going to have to retrace back up. So for me personally, I'll just wait. So we're starting to get a little bit of retracement here. The ATR is extremely high, guys. This whole week, the ATR has been like super high, 40 ATR right now. So, I mean, there might have to be some sort of adjustments. Yeah, Andrew said today might be crazy. The tariffs go into effect today for some countries, I believe. Yeah, I believe for Mexico and Canada. I think they go into effect. That's probably why this thing is dumping so heavy. It's a little tricky, guys. I mean, it's a little tricky, of course. So obviously the cells are going to be ideal, but I mean, obviously, people will probably, it'll probably be, it's probably going to keep dropping. So you might get some retracement, and then the thing that you want to be careful with the retracement is that it's going to spike up a little bit. Like you're probably going to see, the dips get bought, and then it's going to come down sharply again. Or you might see, a big range back to the upside, and then maybe a big drop right after. There's just so many different scenarios here that can play out. Obviously, the sellers have been in control since like this upper area. And then we have the buyers. I wouldn't say the buyers are in control, but price did push up right here. I'd say at least 50 points because each candle here is so big. So I'll just have that right there so we can confirm the retracement. Aiden's asking, is your market open a candle early? I don't believe so. Let me check. Oh, it is. Thanks, Aiden. Yeah, these candles here are so big that I accidentally marked it a candle early. So there we go. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, thanks for confirming that so I can fix that. So yeah, candle open is right here. So we look at current price from candle open. Price has dropped about 150, 160 points. So basically a 200-point drop here from open. Price is now retracing up a little bit. Now what you want to look for is the confirmation of the momentum, right? You want the momentum to push price up a little bit because at this point here, there's still no confirmation of retracement. We just have a little pullback, but you want to have an actual retracement before you start looking for some more entries here. You want to see that reset. I mean, you don't have to wait for the reset, but for me personally, I want to see that reset so that I know when price does come down, it's time for it to come down. It's not just some random, drop back to the low over here. Let's see. So we got some more liquidity right here. This got marked up pre-market, and then obviously we have liquidity down here. So we had a V1 variation candle right here. We also have an engulfing candle right here. Let me go around and take a look if there's any confluences. Nothing here on market profile. We're probably not going to get anything for a while because it's so far up. Looking at the 30-minute, we're probably not going to get anything here either because, like I said, it's so far up. We got to wait for a couple candles here to move before this starts to adjust. So we're probably not going to get any rejections anytime soon here, guys, with regard to market profile, which is what I mainly look for. I like to see those rejections off the market profile. Volume profile over here. I mean, there was the earlier rejection, but nothing after that. Looking here at the clean chart, we have a bottom rejection. So depending on how this candle closes, you might get that bottom rejection and maybe a continuation to the upside. But again, we'll just wait and see, guys. I wouldn't jump the gun on any analysis here, but you can see right there, we get that bottom rejection off the whole number here, 42,850. No SRs down here. Let me see if there's any on the 1 hour. Not really. Yeah, price is in a new area that it hasn't been in a long time. So we're over here on the 4 hour. There's no SR zones down here. Pretty far down. The next zone is way down here. Yeah, we don't have anything close by. So there's not really any bottom support here that we're like kind of anticipating. It's pretty far off from current price. So price is just in a new area right here. I think price is just I think people are gonna buy the dip here. I think the correction is gonna happen. So you can see over here we have some nice rejections off the 850 price point. There's just no targets down here. There's no targets for price to reach for. So like the only area that I can see price really pushing to is back up. Right, back up to the value low. So probably a push back up here to the value low. There's just no targets down here. We got the buy signal there, so that's good. If anything, push back to opening price or the sessions. I think taking sells here it's going to be a little tricky until there's some sort of structure here. Thanks, England. Daniel said tariffs go into effect for Mexico, Canada, and China. Shabam to change from the 30-minute to the 4-hour chart on the TPL. Let me go to that. So let's take a look at that. Okay. So yeah, the 4-hour point of control is down here right now. I guess we can use that for now because there's just nothing on the 3-hour. 2-hour. 1 hour. Yeah, the 4-hour is going to be probably the closest place that has, or the 3-hour too. Yeah, the closest relevant zones. So we'll keep an eye out for the 800 price point. So basically the 800 to 760, right? I'll draw a zone down here. The market profile will adjust as price moves along, but as of now, kind of in limbo. So 42,800 to 760. Okay, so if price continues to drop, this is going to be the next point of control target, that pink zone right there. so that we have an idea if the sellers do come back, Ideally, I think this is probably gonna retrace up a little bit though. So if you guys are looking to take there's an MPS V2 that came up on this candle right here. I mean, it already hit, but it'd come up right there. So I'm probably gonna go for these 30-30s instead of 20-30s, guys. I'm gonna have my trailing stop at the 20, but I think 30-30 would be a little better. The ATR is still very high, so I might huge order right now, 68 contracts for sell that just came in. We'll see if this pushes the price back down. But yeah, like I said, guys, the ATR here is really, really high. So, I mean, if you want to go for 40-40 or even go for 50-50, that could be a possibility. I'm going to go for 30-30 right now just to kind of balance it. I think 40-40 could work, but 30-30 I think is still the sweet spot right now, even though but the ATR is like, it's just way too high. So you want to be careful. I think what might happen here is we might just have a range. If price doesn't break below this liquidity, we might get a range of consolidation like down here. I mean, we'll know pretty soon. This price is at that lower point already. Price dropped through liquidity. It's dropping to the next point of control. So it's currently testing the 4-hour market profile point of control right there. This point of control was established on January 14th. So about a month ago, this was a point of control. Price hasn't been down here since like January. So it's currently now at the point of control, guys. I mean, we'll see if we can find any entries here, but it's going to be tough. I just don't have enough confluences. So like we might be able to see some, decent entries here. The only problem is that I'm not really going to have those confluences that I'm looking for. We got a bottom rejection right here off the current candle. Price is pushing down to the daily right here, the daily support. Huge green candle right there. Price just pushed price right back up. This is the daily support level. Bottom wick rejection right here now on the clean chart. We have a rejection on both ends actually. So again, it's a little tricky. Bottom rejection, top rejection. Volume profile will update later. Price is rejecting off the point of control right here. So it's rejecting off both point of controls. We have an upper level point of control from today rejection and then lower level point of control as well. Nothing on the 1 minute. You can see over here on the 4-hour, it looks like price came down to grab liquidity. So like what I said earlier is we might just get a consolidation start to build up right here, which is what it's looking like now. So I think we're getting a rejection between or a consolidation between this area here, this upper area and this lower area down here. I want to be careful, guys, with any entries here. Like, the thing is, this range here is kind of wide, so you can probably still catch entries in between, right? It's an 80-point range, so like engulfing candle, probably ride this back up. V1 variation, ride this back down, etc. But we'll see. Shut down my laptop. Second, guys, I'm gonna shut down my laptop. Still connected on there. Disconnect. Okay. Trading doesn't keep disconnecting me. All right, so we have a possible NPS V2 setting up over here, guys. Let me see if there's any confluences. I don't see much here, but nothing on the 1 minute. Obviously, zones are way too high. The 4 hour, a little tricky because there's rejection on both ends. We go on like lower time frames, see if there's anything else here that's updated. Nothing on the 30. Nothing on the 1 hour. Nothing on the 2 hour. Nothing really on the 4 hour. So, all right, we might have an NPS V2 setting up here, but problem is we don't really have any confluences. We do have some upwards rejection over here on the clean chart. So I mean, there's one confluence right there, but it's not enough for me to want to get into anything here yet, guys. So if you're looking to take the NPS V2, there's like one confluence here, rejection off the 850 price point. Um, Other than that, it's not a clean enough entry for me to want to take anything. So yeah, it's not gonna fly for me. Let's see, Gerald said I exit early when you said it hit 50. LOL. Thought my screen was glitching or delayed. I know it's I mean the movement is kind of crazy. We're getting some like blocky candles here. So the way that the candles are currently moving, guys, I for sure would not take anything here right now. I mean, for me personally, it's just I've been, we've been in this experience where these candles become super blocky and it's like it just becomes messy after this. So this looks like an MPS V2 possibly looking to set up, but these candles are looking very, very blocky, right? And we've seen this before. We've seen this before where it becomes super blocky and choppy like this, and then it's like it looks like a good entry, but then at the last second it just goes back, it flips the other way. Look at this current candle right now. Just look at how it's moving. See how it's like kind of bouncing around? It's not really moving smoothly down or moving smoothly up. It's like you got a big red block here, and then sometimes it'll just flip back to a doji or flip back to a green candle, or then come back down to a big red candle. And a lot of times, like I get into entries here where they're not actual entries, right? I just end up getting in and then it's too late for me to get out and I get screwed up position. So I'll follow this here. This is an NPS V2 guys setting up. So if you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free to take it. I'll just follow it for you guys. Like I said, the ATR is very high right now, so you want to be careful with like a lot of these different opportunities that do come up because things can flip very easily. So there you go with the NPS V2. It's currently running in profit. It's at the 4 hour market profile point of control. Like I said, I do think it's a valid entry. It's just kind of tricky right there. So full TP right there for 30 points. Like I said, I'd be going for 30-30 right now because the volatility is very high. We're currently at 58-50 ATR right now, guys. I haven't seen the ATR this high in maybe like years. For sure a year. Like we haven't seen ATR at 50 in like over a year. The highest we'll go to is like maybe 40, maybe high 30s. But 50 ATR is very, very high. And look at how this candle here is starting to wake up. So this is why it's important to get in and out of your positions, right? Get your TP and get out. Don't get greedy. If you hold on to it for too long, you know, anything could happen, honestly. So it's better to just get out when you can. Yeah, Christian said also candle is too large for him. I agree. That's why I didn't want to take that one specifically. CJ said, I hate when it looks like a good entry and then it randomly spikes the other opposite direction. Yeah, me too, CJ. That's how I got screwed over like last month when I was trading. I got into a couple entries where I was like, this looks like a good entry. And then all of a sudden it spikes the other way, like as soon as it closes. And then I get screwed because I'm in a position that I shouldn't be in. So, all right, price is kind of currently rejecting off the 4 hour market profile. You can see right here, price is currently breaking through it. It's trying to reach the next level, which is going to be the value high from January. Yeah, so this is from January 14th, basically a month ago. There's levels here, but tricky. So again, right here, if you, as you guys can see how price, it doesn't necessarily hold. It'll push through a little bit and then it'll kind of just pull back up into where it was earlier. So I'm just playing it safe, guys. You know, if you guys want to take these entries, I'll mark them up for you. I'll tell you where they're at, but you know, take them at your own risk. Obviously, I wish I could take them at my own risk, but I'm trading like 60 accounts, so like there's a lot of, you know, I gotta only stick to the absolutely good entries. So getting right here, guys, we have a so it looks like this could be a possible A plus setup, A plus plus setup. We have the sellers in control here from 641. Again, I want to see, I need to see confluences. I don't have enough confluences here for me to take these entries. You know, I really need to see some sort of rejection for me to for me to feel comfortable taking an entry. So again, right here, I'd be looking for some sort of top rejection off any of these points. And then if I do have some sort of rejection, I can possibly, you know, we're currently in the daily support level right now. So there's just a lot of things here. There's a lot of things pointing me to not take a trade. You know, I need more confluence is pointing me toward a trade. One of the big things is we are trading the direction of the trend bias. So the trend here is obviously very bearish, as you guys can see. I just need to look for those entries that I think will like, you know, come through. So here goes the A plus plus setup I just mentioned for you guys. Looks like it already hit TP as well. Right there. But like I said, I need to have more confluences here for me to want to take these entries. Um, I still have enough confluences here. We do have the upwards rejection here, but this happened like, you know, 5 minutes ago. I need to see something that's more recent. Yeah, PC said, I think what Trump is doing right now is enough, big enough confluence for a sell. I know. The thing is, I don't want to get caught in like the spike to the upside. See, like I'm okay with taking the sells if my stop loss is wide enough. Because if your stop loss is wide enough, this is how I made a lot of money when Trump was president last, right? And I wouldn't recommend it to people, but like if you could enter a trade with like basically no stop loss, eventually it'll hit your TP. That's just, you know, that was how it was. And that's kind of how it is today, right? If you guys were taking trades here, like look, for example, if you chase these sells to the downside, if your stop loss was wide enough, like if you had a 100-point stop loss, 50 points probably cut it too. So if you're going for these 50-50 moves here, you could probably survive the retracement. The thing that you want to be careful for is like when those bigger retracements happen, because the bigger retracements are eventually going to happen, right? But yeah, if your stop loss is big enough, you can survive a lot of these moves here. Thing is, the volume here started to die down a little bit, so I think it's a little too late for you to make those types of moves. If you want to go for those bigger moves, it looks like the volume here is probably going to flatten out, and yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. Yeah, CJ said, I don't even think the ATR hit 51 during COVID when people flushed out GameStop. Yeah, I know. ATR is nuts. Barack said for these large candles on MPSV2, I'd recommend waiting until prices retrace 50% on the big candle and then take the sell in the next break of momentum. Yeah, I would have done the same thing too, Barack. I would just wait. So like basically wait for price to kind of retrace up and then, you know, cast the ride back down, or just have like a limit order just waiting there. So when it does come back down, it'll fill your order. Because the 30-point stop loss is still kind of tight. All right, so we got this right here. Volume is kind of dying down a little bit. It's not super dead, but it is dying down quite a bit compared to the others. Counts here about like 20-30 points. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for this to adapt. Okay, so we do have a rejection right here off the 30-minute AT or 30-minute value low, which is a confluence that I'm okay with. Back to the 4-hour over here. Yeah, I'd be careful, guys, because there could be a big player looking to buy a huge dip down here. Because the thing is, we're at point of control right now. As we get closer to these like lower levels, so I think if we get closer to this value low right here, you might start to see like the bigger players come in, and they're gonna try to buy like huge dips, right? Because the dip here is it's dropped how many points? So like if they buy the dip there, they're going to be in money easily. This has dropped about, so say from yesterday, prices dropped like almost 1,000 points, more of 1,000 points, 1,000. If price gets to this value low right here, it's going to drop 1,500 points. At that point, a bigger buyer can just buy a whole bunch of contracts right there and then push price up, maybe back to the previous point of control, and this guy would just make a killing, right? Get about like 700 points right there. Like you got to think about it. These bigger buyers are like, say for example, you're doing 100 contracts, right? So say you did 100 contracts times five for a 750 point move, it would have made 375,000. Those are the types of contracts that, or some of them put even more, like not even 100, they'll put like 1,000 contracts. So you think about that, this little move right here. So think about bounce off the value low, they buy the dip, they push it back up here to the point of control, and then it comes back down. This whole 750 point move there will lock in a 100 contract trader at 375,000. You put that into bigger contracts, 1,000 contracts times five times 750, that's 3.7 million. So if you look at things on a bigger scale and look at how like these bigger hedge funds are trading, they're trying to buy orders at like these dips, right? Obviously, this is overextension. This is all fear of market. And what happens is a lot of people are going to buy the dip, right? At the dip at this green line. Or if it doesn't happen there, they'll buy the dip down here. It doesn't really matter where, but they're going to buy the dip somewhere. They're not going to let the Dow die. Like this asset isn't going to die. The Dow is going to recover at some point. You can see this candle right here. This candle is one 4-hour candle of like 600, 700 points. All right, so I would probably look for a price to get down to that value low. That value low now is going to be at 42,600 to, okay, I'm going to make some adjustments over here. So 42,600, just so I have an idea of like where I should start to maybe look for some buys. So I'll look for a possible bounce off this area. But it's also tricky. Like, sometimes you don't want to go against that, but it's getting closer to it. So it's already at the point of control here on the 4-hour, guys. All these 1-minute charts are going to be irrelevant. You have to go on the higher time frames to look at these bounce points, because we're not going to see any bounce points on these other time frames. Yeah, like not even the 30-minute, maybe the 1 hour. Nope. Okay, so the most relevant area is going to be the 4-hour right now. Looks like the analysis for rejection is going to just have to be off these 4-hour price points. We got a rejection right here off the whole number. This is the 650 price point. We're currently at the daily support on the SR chart. So now we have some confluences from the downside, guys. We have price rejecting off the daily support. We have price rejecting off the whole number here, the 650. We have price rejecting off the point of control down here. And we'll just kind of play by ear. So we do have some confluences for buys, but again, like I said, I don't know if I really want to take buys in this market. Maybe I want to see this come back up, bounce off the point of control right here, and then come back down. It's just tricky. It's tricky because both sides can make sense, right? Like people could be buying the dip here, but I mean that the buyers here can also get wiped out. Let me take a look at the time and sales. See, the crazy thing is, I don't. There's no like big sell orders that are coming in. There's a lot of these like I guess cluster orders that are coming in, but not exactly like big orders. Like people are like they're like they're averaging their way in. They're not exactly just coming in hot and just trying to dump price even heavier. All right, we got price that's pushed up just a little bit. Nothing here on the 1 minute. No rejection right there. All right, so looking over here on our clean chart, there's a rejection at the top area here. Rejection off the top, rejection off the bottom. All right, I think I would personally be looking for sells here, so I don't think that the dip's ready to be bought. Of course, price has to come down to the value low. I don't think buyers should really be valid until it comes down to this area right here. And what a messy market. Let me check oil. One thing that I'm gonna be looking at maybe looking to trade will maybe be oil. As I've been looking at like I've been looking at a different asset to trade alongside YM. I think oil is like one of the easier ones to trade because you can focus on oil news, right? Just like looking at oil news. So I'm going to be doing some research on oil to see which one I should trade. I kind of went in between like looking at NQ for a while, but I just don't like NQ. It's too volatile for me. Oil is a little more calm, and you can really base your entries off like the OPEC news, right? There's OPEC news that comes out like basically every month, and depending on like what they announce, that could kind of be your bias for like that month period. The thing with YM is it's hard to identify fundamentals for YM because there's so many different factors that affect it. But when you trade something like oil or something like gold, gold is kind of hard to trade fundamentals off too because it's a lot of things affect it. But I think crude oil is one of those assets where it's just like in the oil news that really affect it. Inflation isn't going to be too bad because people are going to buy oil regardless of the fact. But it just kind of depends on like oil prices. Yeah, Brock said, yeah, it's a daily demand. Hopefully, you get a good balance. Problem is, it can live there for a day or two, consolidating or even more. Yeah, so Brock said that this area is cool too. Like he's identifying the balance from that point. The only problem here is that like Brock said, price can kind of sit down here for like a day or two. It doesn't necessarily need to break past it, push above it, come back down for retest, etc. So we're going to push back up right here. Again, we have a rejection off the point of control down here, off the 4 hour time frame. It's a 4 hour volume profile, not the market profile, but volume profile down there. So still room for it to drop. We got some rejections right here off the top end on the clean chart. So what I'd like to see here again would be another buy signal. I need that buy signal to confirm the retracement and then possible continuation to the downside. Yeah, Shivam said always love oil personally. Might do some back testing as when it moves, it's very clean and very predictable. Yeah, I agree with you too, Shubham, 100%. I think it's very predictable. That's why I like looking at oil. So I'm gonna try to like I know these strategies work on oil because I've looked at it. It's just figuring out what your TP stop loss would be because I don't trade it. One of the people that I do know who trades it, they usually go for dollar moves, so it's about like 100 points. But to do that, you need to trade on like a higher time frame, of course, right? The 1 minute, you're not really going to be able to go for 100 points. Yeah, so like looking at this right here, price came down, retraced, entry happened right there. This is an MPSB2. So there's opportunities here with oil, which I'll take a look at. I'll do some testing. I'm not going away from why I am. I'm just like looking at something else that we could possibly, uh, you know, trade with as well or go for like bigger moves. CJ said I was expecting some crazy market movements because NFP week, but this is crazy. Zelensky not wearing a suit and this tariff war is killing the vibe. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, Shabam said, yeah, funded, no chance, maybe. Want to build up my accounts after PA. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think I'm built to hold on to positions for that long. Same with you, Shivam, same with a lot of other people. Like it's just you have to figure out what's with your trade psychology. Some people like to hold on to positions right away. Some people like to hold on to them for a couple hours, a couple of days, etc. The thing with futures is it's really hard to swing trade a future asset because the margin is so expensive and none of the prop firms will allow you to hold on to them for that long. Unless you trade with like, some of those bootleg ones that kind of that aren't futures that still trade like indices and stuff. Yeah, Daniel said these tariffs definitely messing with my money. I work for the manufacturing company in Mexico. I know, dude, everything's gonna be expensive. It's so the crazy thing is that like people will kind of blame it on inflation, but it's really gonna be these tariffs, right? Everything's gonna be expensive to import export from here to Mexico to Canada to China. It's not exactly gonna help us like at all. If you guys think stuff's expensive now, a lot of stuff comes from Mexico, a lot of stuff comes from Canada, etc. And like so I see I could kind of see things from like a different perspective. Like I could see what Trump is doing and I could see like these tariffs. They'll probably nah, they won't. I was thinking because the thing is like the only way to really combat like these tariff prices is if we start to produce things here in the US, but it's still gonna cost more to produce stuff in the US versus importing, exporting, and just paying the tariff, right? So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, PC said this is what America voted for, though. The thing with America is like, I don't think anybody knew what they were voting for, honestly. They didn't see the long-term effect of like what would what all these plays are gonna do. But I mean, it is what it is, right, PC? For me, I don't care about politics as much. I kind of just find ways around it. So the goal now is really just to make more money, guys. And the good thing with trading is that you can really multiply what you make without having to without having to risk more. So if you're in like the import export manufacturing business, if you're in retail, if you're in any of that type of stuff where you have to like pay employees and or you work for some sort of exchange, it's everything's just going to cost more. But with trading, it's like you can kind of just throw one on another in the contract size. And that's the cool thing about trading. It's like you can always multiply your profits. Like for me, I used to trade one account, now I trade 60 accounts. So, instead of me having to make like X amount of profit on just one account, I could make a bunch of profit across a bunch of accounts, and I just take a percentage of each. So for me, I'm kind of doing things a smart way. I'm just allocating the risk across multiple accounts versus just myself. I think that's probably the smartest way to do it, honestly. Um, some people disagree, but you know, it's different. Yeah, Shabam said also immigration, they do jobs nobody wants. In all honesty, I get pros and cons. Short term, it's gonna be a tough 12 to 18 months. Crazy though, it's only been under 2 months since Trump took office. I know a lot of stuff has been happening over the past 2 months. It's crazy. All right, so we got the rejection right here off the point of control, guys. This is what we were looking for. So I said look for that bounce off this point. People might be buying the dip from here. So we got a rejection off that point. Again, the lower time frames aren't going to make much sense here, but we do have a rejection right here off the point of control off the 4 hour. So we'll see if it holds. I mean, if it doesn't hold, that's fine. But we are at a support level too. So we got a couple of different confluences here. We have price projecting off the daily support. We have price projecting off the 4 hour point of control. This doesn't necessarily have to hold, right? I just want to see that buy signal. So I didn't think we're going to get the buy signal until it bounces off here. We're currently getting the buy signal now, which is what I was looking for. So we got that bounce, buy signal. I need that buy signal to close, maybe push up a little bit and come back down. I don't care where price goes from here. I just need the buy signal. So I need the buyers to push price back up, and then I'm good after that buy signal comes. So if the buy signal comes up and it comes back down, that's fine. I'll look for some sells. If the buy signal comes up and it climbs right back up over here, then that's fine too. So we can start looking for look for some buys. So I'm just looking for that retracement confirmation. Once we have that confirmation, then we can go from there. Yeah, Shabam said sell will be preferred, hopefully, but let's see, wait for the confirmations. Seems to have calmed down. Yeah, I think the sellers are done selling for right now, at least. It might calm down for a little bit, depending on what happens next. We have to kind of follow what's going on here. All right, so we got the Trump tariffs live updates. Yeah, so President Donald Trump went forward with sweeping tariffs at midnight on goods imported from Canada, Mexico, while doubling down on punitive duties on China. Yeah, this shit's gonna keep crashing, bro. So I just saw right here. So it says, just now Mexico's president said retaliatory tariffs are coming Sunday. So looks like we're gonna be in a selling market for like the next week or so. Yeah. Yeah, so it says over here, Best Buy CEO warns prices for consumers are likely to rise. Yeah, so everything's gonna go up, guys. Like so you can see over here, Best Buy CEO Corey Berry warned that prices are highly likely to rise after the tariffs. Yeah, so looks like we're gonna be in a selling market for a while. Oil falls as Trump tariffs can coincide with higher OPEC. So this is what I was talking about. It's crazy. I started watching this TV show. It's called Landman. During my flight, I watched Landman, and it's kind of interesting to see how the oil industry works. So I know it's a TV show, but it's like kind of interesting to see how the OPEC news and stuff affects the market and how price kind of fluctuates off that, and how it doesn't matter what happens with inflation. Price people need oil. So I watched that show, and that's kind of what gave me the idea. I should probably look into oil because if I follow the OPEC news pretty much monthly, and then just look at different oil stocks that kind of move around, I can have a good idea of where to take have some sort of bias. And it's like one of those assets that kind of stands alone. It's not like oil, like gold or silver, any of that stuff that's kind of tied with a lot of other stuff. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna have it's gonna continue to sell off. When did this news come out right here? So I'll probably want to keep following the news here to see if there's any updates. I mean, it wouldn't really matter. I think the sell-offs are still going to be. I think this would be a good time to take micro scalps. Yeah, this might be a good time to take micro scalps actually, because the thing is, these momentums will hold for a while. So the price kind of retraced up like that. If you guys want to take entries off these, you guys can look for basically engulfings or V1s. Price is pushing past the point of control. And it's at the value area now. So price is pretty much knocking through the value area from last month. Right there. I mean, this is a buy area for most, but I'm gonna look for some confluences for some sells. I don't think this support level is gonna hold. So what I would look for, guys, if you guys are looking to take entries here, like if you really want to take an entry, look for some confluences from the upside. So I look for some rejections here off like the whole numbers. Basically, I look for price to maybe come back up for a retracement, bounce off the whole number, come back down. A nice rejection off that point, and then see, even looking for some rejections over here. The market profile is probably not going to give you anything today, guys, to be honest. I think the market profile, thing with market profile is that it's good in a ranging market. We're not in a ranging market today, or we're probably not going to be in a ranging market for a while. You can use them for targets. So like you can use them to look for target price points, but there's not really going to be a market profile. There's not going to be a profile to follow because price is just going to keep dropping. You can just look for targets for price to reach for, but you're not really gonna, the balances aren't gonna matter too much. Like these value areas are not gonna, so they're not gonna hold. Like they're not gonna bounce back up like this. They're probably just gonna break through, maybe break and retest and come back lower. But yeah, this is it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to see this here. See, the thing that's crazy about this is that it's going to stop eventually. So this is why you don't want to just take every sell that you see. I would only take the sells if there's some sort of confluence attached to it. Like for example, we had an engulfing candle right here, rejected directly off the pivot, right? We had a V1 variation right here, rejecting off the pivot. You want to have some sort of confluence when you're taking these entries. Don't just chase a sell because you think price can keep dumping. Yeah, exactly. Mike's a great show. Oil needs to stay between X, Y for them to win. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The thing with oil is like, yeah, it's you can kind of find a bias, but like if you identify what the overall bias is, like what's going to happen for the next month, because they usually move in order. Like if you guys remember, we look at I think during COVID we looked at oil prices and they were like super expensive because there was low demand, there was high demand and low supply. So you could just buy oil and luckily it would just keep flying up. Um, for now, so you can see over here from oil, it's a lot smoother, right? So you get the drop, you get the retracement, and then it comes back down lower. You don't get like that super choppiness that we have here for YM or any of these other assets that kind of go back and forth. All right, so we have a rejection right here at the top end off the 1 minute. Yeah, I think price is probably going to drop further to maybe this point of control right there. All right, so the rejection here isn't very relevant because we have price above it. If this does continue to drop lower from this point, it might be relevant. So you have two rejections off this whole number, the 550. Oh, and Mike, I saw your email. So I will respond to your email later. My bad. I just got back from my trip, so just saw your email that there's an engulfing candle that's setting up right here. It's going to be a possible nice sell here for engulfing. I think the candle might be a little too big though, but if you guys are looking to take something here, candle looks a little too big. Yeah, about that. A little tricky engulfing candle there because it's just a little big of a candle. I mean, it does look pretty nice because we had that rejection off the top end. A little tricky. See, like you guys can see these engulfings over here. You have an engulfing candle and you have a V1 variation, but they're not huge candles, right? So like this is why it's nicer because the bigger candle might come after it, or like at some point later along the line. I don't like entering when the candle is just too big. Like this engulfing is just a little too big right here. So that's why I wouldn't want to take it because like what Barack said earlier, if it retraces up to the 50-point mark, then you can look for it to come back down. But the thing is, if you enter from this low point, then you get a little screwed because you get caught in that retracement. Price might not come back down. See, so we're at the 50-point mark here. If you guys want to enter this late, I mean, you always put a limit order right here. So when it comes down, it'll fill your order and push right through. But for me personally, I'd probably just wait. Again, I've been waiting for this buy signal to come up for like the past like 20, 40 minutes now. It hasn't came up yet. All right. Keep going back to these 1 minutes, but I know the 1 minutes are not going to be valid for us or really useful. We got the rejection right here off the bottom end. So with that rejection right there, we got this buy signal. So, okay, looking at this right now, guys, on the 4 hour, see how price is pushing up off the value area. This is why I was saying it's kind of tricky to buy around this or to trade around this area because this is a value area from like last month. So if some big hedge fund wants to take prop or wants to buy the dip here, they can probably push price back up to the point of control, this one. And if they were to push price up from here, it's a 700 pip payday for them, which could equate to, multiple six-figure profits or even the millions. Kind of depends on like how far they want to push it up. Thing is, it's not that big a push. Like if they could get enough people to follow, or if like multiple hedge funds want to team up with each other and they're like, hey, let's all buy at this price point, and let's lead the retail back to point of control and then sell off right here. But if you could think outside the box like that and kind of understand like, okay, what are these plays that these hedge funds would want to put in? Because for me, if I had enough money and I was in a big hedge fund and I managed a fund and I had fund partners, I would buy at this value control because prices already dropped over 1,000 points. So I think this is a good time to buy the dip. Obviously, I don't have enough pull to make something like this happen, but if I was to make a move like this, I would either buy from here, push up there, sell off, and then let price come back down. Or I would wait even longer and do the same thing down here. Right. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to play this, but I mean, ideally, I'd probably still look for some sells here. So we got the buyers, which push price up here slightly. I'll put the sellers from right here. I'll put the buyers back from right here. So what I would be looking for here, we have a nice rejection off the point of control right there. I would look for price to come back down now at this point. Got some profits here from Brock. Brock locked in. That's a lot of profit, Brock, off NASDAQ and down. That's huge, 15,477. So nice work right there, Brock. I mean, I guess if you could hold on to it long enough, it'll move. And I'm gonna look for the rejection here. So we have the rejection off the point of control right there off the 4 hour. See price come down a little bit here on the 1 minute. Currently at the support level at the floor. A little bit of a tricky area here. Let's see, PC said, imagine America during World War III going through a recession with no allies. Scary place to be. Yeah, no, and I agree with you 100%. It's I feel like we didn't even go through the recession yet, right? We've been talking about a recession for a long time now when Biden was in control. So yeah, it is a scary place to be because you think about that, a lot of bridges are being burnt. Whether it's World War III or whether it's Cold War, it's basically it's a Cold War at this point with the tariffs. We'll see what happens over the next, and we got Trump for another couple of years, guys. So this is just the beginning. It is literally just the beginning of what's to come. All right, so the confluence, there's just not enough confluences here for me to really want to take anything, guys. I'm going to be looking for a possible bounce right here. Maybe push up, bounce off the 600 level, come back down, and then also have push from this side too. So it looks like people, or not just people, but someone is buying the dip. Like I said earlier, this point of control point, if I had enough to push this up, I would push this up. And that's what's happening right there. This is a buy level right here. For me personally, I don't know if I would still chase the buy though. I'd have to see like some sort of confirmation that like the buyers are really, really in control. This could be temporary right here. This is a buy zone, so I don't know if this will actually hold, but there was an MPSV2 right there for a buy. I don't know if anybody caught that. Happened pretty quickly actually. There's no drawdown on it. So there was the buyers which took control here, buy signal, retracement, confirmation, and then it shot up. Looks like Brock here caught that order. I mean, looking at the current market, so the type of market that we're in right now, guys, I think it might be like you can easily catch these MPS V2s in either direction. Because the thing is, we're going to be getting these swings in, right? Like the thing is, if the buyers are really in control, then the buy signal will close. This buy signal is pending for like 40 minutes, like market open basically. So Brock said, I am now over trading, got to go. Yeah. All right, Brock, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So Brock's done for the day, locked in some pretty good profit there. I will put that over here in the Discord. All right, Brock, good profit for the day. Um, all right, so let's see what happens here. I mean, price is pushing off the value low right there. If price pushes back up. So there's a couple different areas here. There's a point of control that's like right here down the middle that it can push up to. So it might push up to there and bounce off. Or if it makes like a big push, like, I mean, you can push up to this value, point of control. It's just, I don't know if it'll hold. That's the thing. I think that's like the hardest part right now. It's like identifying if this here will actually hold. So we'll see if this comes back below the value low. If it comes back below the value low here, then I'll look for a possible break and retest, and then possibly NPS V2 to the downside. I'm surprised the volume profile here hasn't really moved very much because it's came down so heavily. All right, so looking over here on the clean chart, guys, we do have a nice rejection right here off the whole number, the 650. So nice rejection right here off the 42,650. Yeah, I'll look for the continuation to the downside from here. So nice retracement. Maybe lure in some buyers, lock them in, get them trapped, and then price maybe come back down. I'll give it like about like 10 minutes to kind of see what happens here. With the candle movement. There's one of two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to push up and go back to this point of control, or at some point, I mean, price might just flip and come back down. Who knows, right? We don't know. So kind of want to see what happens here over the next 10 minutes. Yeah, the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll kind of see what happens here with market. So you guys can see over here. See, I like the market profile, but sometimes it gets a little too messy. Like right now, I think it's a little too messy at this point. We do have a rejection off the value low though. So like I said, this could be the start of a push back to the upside. Go back to the 30-minute. 30-minute hasn't really updated yet. We'll stay on the 4 for now. All right. So I want to see this candle close with that nice rejection right there. See, it's not closed yet. We have 40 seconds left on this candle, but if we get this rejection right there, then I'm gonna expect price to maybe come back down, and I'll look for some MPSB2s on the way back down. So the sellers might be back right here. I mean, again, you have to kind of wait to see what happens. I wouldn't just take the sells because I do see the sellers coming back in control here, but that's kind of what I see here after this rejection. So we got 13 seconds left on this candle again. We'll see if the rejection happens. If it doesn't happen, then the price might continue pushing up higher. And the rejection did not happen, so might just get a continuation up higher from here. If you guys are just joining in, a lot of entries have came up, guys. I didn't take anything myself yet, but a lot of stuff has came up. So the breakout came up over here for 100-point TP. We had a bunch of entries that came up over here along the way. MPSV2. I forget. Oh, this was a MPSV2 to the upside. And then we had another MPSV2 right here. A plus setup. MPSV2 for a buy right here. And then looks like, so it looks like this was an A plus setup. Actually, no, this was an A plus setup right here. So we had the V1 right here, MPS V2, and then this candle right here would have been the A plus setup. So we have a lot of entries coming up. It's just kind of tricky because like we do want to stick to some sells, but I mean, it looks like the buyers might be pushing price up for a while. So the sellers are not in control yet. We don't really have much on the 1 minute here. We have a nice projection off the value low here off the 4 hour. Like I mentioned earlier, if I was to make the push from here, this is where I would make the buys off, and I would probably push price back up to the point of control up here. We're getting close to the value low here off the volume profile. We got some bottom rejections right here. We got rejections in both directions. I mean, it's gonna be tough here to really dial in. So we got some upwards rejections right there. So what I'm mainly looking for here, guys, is I'm looking for either a retracement to the downside or I'm looking for a full-on reversal, right? Because the buyers have been in control here since 7:22, so about 10 minutes now. Price has been pushing up. I'm looking for price to either reverse back down, or if I'm looking for a retracement here, I just want to see a sell signal come up and then, correction back to the upside. Whatever may come up here. We got some time. We got a engulfing candle and V1 variation right here, guys. Coming up. Let me look at my confluences real quick. I'm sure we got some pretty decent ones for sells here. So we have some rejections right here off the pivot. That's one confluence. Looking over here at the 4 hours not going to give us too much right now because it's rejecting off the bottom end. We have a rejection right here off volume. It's a rejection off the volume profile off the 1 minute. We don't have an upwards rejection off the clean chart here yet though. So there you go, the sell signal. Ideally, I'd like to see that sell signal possibly close. There we go. Okay, so I'll be looking for a possible MPS V2 here back to the downside, guys. Couple confluences here. The 4 hours not going to be super useful for us. Let me go on the lower time frame, see if there's anything else here. Any rejections off the top end? Not really. So market profiles are going to be super, super useful for us right now, but it's going to be of some relevancy. We do have rejection right here off the volume profile off the 1 minute, so that's a good sign. Uh, what I'd like to see here is possibly come back up, reject off the 650, and then come back down. So I'd like to see a rejection right here. We might not get it because this candle is kind of strong, but see, it has about 10 seconds left on it. So we're gonna get the rejection, probably not. Okay, no rejection there. So we got the MPS V2 possibly setting up right here, guys. We have a V1 candle right here as well. So if this candle closes, this is going to be an MPS V2 right here, guys. It's one that I'm possibly going to want to take. It's going to go back down to the value low here. I'll probably take it for a 30-30. Only problem is that this candle is a little too big again. Kind of depends on how this candle here closes. If it closes too big, I'm gonna hold off on it. If it closes like somewhere around this middle area, I'll take it. We got closing in about 15 seconds here. It's not looking like it's gonna close below, guys. No entry there. No entry. We need it to close below this black line. Nothing there yet. So we get another opportunity right here, possibly. 50 contracts for a sell just came in. 20 seconds left here. We got 15 seconds left here. Candle closing in 10 seconds. I'm gonna try to get into here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Order submit or
Or not full TP right there.
stop filled. Order filled.
All right. So I don't know what happened with some of these accounts. It's weird. One account got like stupid Purdy account. I hate how Purdy does this. I ain't gonna do it real quick. Purdy pretty much screwed up all my trades right now. I got an error. Well, it's so weird with Purdy. You have to enable your data every time the the uh the new month starts. So now I gotta go back over here and enable the data. The market data. I don't know why it does that. It kind of does that with Apex too. So I got out right here at 20 points, guys. Like I said, I had my stop loss and profit at the 20 mark. Use the trailing stop right there. I got out pretty quick. So it was an MPS V2 entry. So I'll post up my profits right now. For some reason, one of my hedge accounts, I guess I'm assuming he got like some sort of slippage. Let's see everything else. And for the most part, everything else looks good. Make sure everything's good here. I just want to make sure all my accounts are closed out. There's nothing that's still actively running. Log into his account real quick and make sure. Live account. Okay, that's why. Okay, my bad, guys. I just had to go check out, make sure all of the accounts were closed out. So let me just take a screenshot of my profits for that trade. Got it at 20 points. Had my trailing stop at 20. I was trying to go for the 30, but it's all good. The volatility here is kind of obviously it's kind of shoddy. Why doesn't this work anymore? There we go. I'm trying to take a screenshot of my profits like I normally do, but for some reason my print screen button doesn't work. Trying to figure out how to take a screenshot of my. I'll just do it later. Let me see how to screenshot on PC. I don't know it. For some reason, my print screen button doesn't work. I take a screenshot on PC. Windows Shift S. Yeah, so unfortunately, it didn't take on all my accounts. Oh fuck, what did I do? Oops. Windows Shift S. Okay. So it didn't take on all my accounts because my Perdio the data wasn't activated. But it took on majority of them. So all right, we're good. I screenshot everything. There's no entries here right now anyway, so nothing for us to take. But yeah, MPS right there that I took. There's a lot of entries here that came up. But I'll take a screenshot of this too so that you guys can kind of see all the entries that came up. Otherwise, looking at the market right now, I don't think there's going to be any more entries that are going to come up from now until 8 o'clock. So let me just post this real quick so that you guys have an idea of like what I took, where my profits came from. We had some more profits here from David. He locked in 370 for the day. Nice work, David. I think I just have to reset my laptops because I haven't been on my laptops for like a little over a week. So I got to reset everything. So let me now put this on the Discord. So doing pretty good so far overall. Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good 80 contracts for buys that just came in. Let's see. I think they got stopped out. I think whoever was taking this probably got stops that were filled. It was 80 contracts that got filled for buys, but you can see your price obviously didn't come up. But anyways, here are my profits from that trade, guys. I just took one trade today, one MPS V2. And here are my profits right here. I locked in. I'll put them on I'll update them in my trader sync right now, and then it's gonna be easier for me to show you guys versus having to and let me update them. I don't see any trades right now. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to update my trader sync right now so that you guys can see my trades so far for the week and for the month. I like showing you guys a trader sync versus like this. It's kind of hard to see everything, right? It's a lot of products to show. Thankfully with my trader sync, it kind of just does everything. It puts everything on there. So I don't have to add everything up. All right, so we got price kind of pushing up pretty heavy right here. Let's go back to the market profile. We're now at the next value low, guys. So we're now at the lower value low. Or is it the same one? Not the same one. So we're at the lower the same value low here. Price is trying to bounce off it, but it's having trouble getting that bounce. We had a really nice rejection off this lower whole number though. So rejection right here off the 42,500. Price is pushing up a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's enough to really make a full-on reversal, but looking at that there, it's a pretty big rejection. And until you get a buy signal there, you're not really going to have any NPSV2s. So we have a buy signal here that's pending. I think NPSV2 would be pretty nice in either direction. It doesn't really matter which direction you're taking it, but you take it for a buy, you take it for a sell. I think it'll probably play through as long as you guys have some sort of confluence. The biggest confluence here is a rejection off the value low. So the value low of the 4-hour time frame is like good enough confluence to take any NPSV2s that come up for a buy. Because I think it's enough to push price up pretty strongly. The only problem here is that the volatility doesn't hold, and then the buy signal just kind of disappears. So you have to be a little patient waiting for that there to come up. So let me see. I think I have one more that I have to add on to here. Dang, 96 orders for a buy that just came in. So we got a lot of buy orders that are trying to push price up, but it just doesn't seem like they're having any luck right now. Unless they're just stops getting filled. Yeah, Samson, thanks for today. Sean made another 250 break and retest off NQ. See you, bro, tomorrow. I'm glad you ended up in the green too. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm super glad I did too, because can't see all you guys hitting profits and me just chilling. Right. Okay, so here are my let me put this over here real quick. So there's nothing happening right here, guys. I'm just gonna put my my trader sync over here so that you guys can see all of my profits so far. So yesterday I made 6,500. I traded while I was on vacation. I mean, obviously I can only take a 5 contract max on the trade of 8 copier. So I only made 6,500 with 20 trades. Right here, I've included my personal account and then my Tradeify and then my Take Profit Trader account. And obviously my Apex account. So for today, I locked in 21,340. So for the month so far, I'm up 27,840. Here are all my profits for the year so far. So I'm doing pretty decent. For January, I locked in 73,115 overall. For February, I locked in 81,255. And then so far for this month, I'm up 27,840. I'm trying to reach for that 100K goal. I want to make like 100K for the month. I almost got her for February. The thing is, I couldn't trade certain days, right? So like if I could have traded all of my accounts right here on the 27th, I would have made that 100K mark because I would have made 20K for that day. But it's okay. It is what it is. I was very limited on my resources. I was trading on one laptop, so I could only trade on one account. I also didn't trade on this Friday. You guys made a killing on Friday and on Thursday last week. So would have been good if I could have hit that 100K there, but we'll do it I'm gonna try to aim for 100K this March. So that's gonna be my goal for this month of 100K a month. And we got Lila over here. Lila locked in 1,462 for the day. Nice work, Lila. Killed it today. Yeah, I know it feels good, right? Because we've been kind of chilling for like the past couple of months, guys. Like, I feel like the winter season was like really slow for us, and then I was like, man, we need to like get this back into gear, and it's been pretty nice. So the past couple of months, we've been having a lot more volatility, a lot more direction. All our directional strategies here are working. It's kind of like what we planned for. So we talked about this, we talked about this last year. I said once Trump becomes president again, we're going to have more volatility in the market and we're going to be able to take these directional moves, which is exactly what's happening now. So I gotta adapt with the high volatility, maybe adjust my TP stop loss a little wider. But I think we're in for a pretty good trading year as long as the volatility stays up and we kind of just stick to our trading plan. So I'll put your profits over here, Lila. If you guys have any more profits to post up or share, feel free to send them in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to, hit me up on Discord, or you can hit me up anywhere really. But I think that's it for the day, guys. It is 7:53 right now. I'm not really seeing too much here. Yeah, Shivam said, to be fair, I had a lot of random errors also, although everything closed out thankfully. Yeah, I need to reset my laptop. I think, my laptop's kind of screwed up right now because I haven't been on my computer for a while. So I just need to reset everything and then just start everything fresh for tomorrow's trading day. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I'm looking over here at the market. I mean, we've had a pretty crazy day today, so I don't think there's much here to really work with. Honestly, we try to use market profile here to identify structure and, rejections and whatnot, but there just hasn't really been very much of that. We had some nice rejections right here off this point, off the market profile, but that's, we're pretty far from that price point. Looking over here at the 4-hour time frame, we had to go from the 30-minute to the 4-hour because there was nothing on the 30-minute. And price is still dumping right here. So like the next bounce area that I would probably look for would be 43 or 42,321 around this area. So this lower area right here, possible bounce off the point of control, bounce off the value high. And if it drops lower, then the next point of control down there. Otherwise, I would just be careful with your entries, guys. I mean, if you want to keep trading, feel free. For me personally, I'm more risk averse, so I'm not really trying to get into these risky positions. I just want to get in, get out, and then repeat the process tomorrow, basically. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, pretty good day overall. If you guys weren't here for the whole session, we had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scalp entries that kind of showed up today. I only took one of them, and then we had the breakout hit over here as well for 100 points. So in total, about 7 entries, all full TPs, no losses. And I mean, it's pretty solid. So hopefully this continues to be the theme for the next couple months for the rest of the year, and it'll push through there. Hopefully reach my goal here of 100,000 for a trading month. Currently at 27, so I gotta keep pushing that. Hopefully we have like a pretty nice win streak that pulls through, and then we'll get to that point as we inch closer to that time of the year. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here, same place, same time tomorrow as we continue on with this trading week. We got some news coming up tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, we have some employment change. Like you guys know, it is NFP week, so just get ready for those crazy movements.